Anyway, guys, I'm going to open it up to some questions. Sorry if this was a little harsh, but very little makes me angrier than people with apathy like that when people are in trouble. So now there are a couple of super chats I'm going to go through, and then I'll read some normal questions. So, Madsif Jada says, is there an every man for himself attitude? Absolutely. And that is modern China. Modern China at the moment is all about, let's make as much money as I can. The most important thing is me and my family and no one else. And one could say that all over the world there's an attitude like that. But from my own observations, even in South Africa, where there are racial tensions, people trying to kill each other all the time, I have helped and had other people help me whenever there's been trouble. There's still this undercurrent of society that if you see someone broken down on the side of the road, you offer to give them a jump start or give them a tow. If you see someone who's in trouble, you help them. You know? Let's see what's next. I think this is by Tyler Freeman. Thank you for your generosity. He says, I think China is in the same state as much of Europe was before World War I. Increasing power and severe nationalism, things we pay dearly for. I will agree with you. But there's a little bit of a difference here. We're living in the modern world, and there's no place for this kind of thing. It's just a coping mechanism of the Communist Party to rile up nationalism in order to cover up for its own mistakes. So, I mean, anyone who's smart sees why it is the way it is. And I think anyone who's smart also understands that it's a very dangerous path to walk down. Okay, happy Friday. Thank you. Yes, happy Friday. I know it's not a happy topic we're talking about today. But yes, happy Friday. Next. Hello from Canada. This is Mitchell. Sorry, that was Andrew Price at Happy Friday. Mitchell Bentio. It sounds French. I could be wrong. Please excuse me. Hello from Canada. Love your content and happy to support you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Chances of being turned away on a Shanghai tourist visa? This is from Anuj Guel. No, I don't think so. If you have a tourist visa, unless you're like me making videos on YouTube that are critical of the CCP, you shouldn't get turned away. All right. Thank you, Winston. Please read Henry George, eye-opening. Thank you, Nate Blair. I'm not sure who that is. I'll look into it. WD40, thank you. Josema Fernandez Berares, no justification for that behavior. If that cyborgs run the world, we will all be in big trouble. Okay, well, you know, I don't like to delegate a group of people and say that they're XYZ, but what I will say is that mainland Chinese society has led to this apathy and this inability, I should say. It's not even an unwillingness. It's an inability to help their fellow man in trouble because of what's happened in the past. Of course, there's no excuses for this behavior, but one can still understand why it exists, right? Let's see. Where were we? Good evening. Stay awesome. Thank you. You too. Thank you, Eric, and thanks for all you do. Thank you so much for James and Eric. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Lady AHG. And yeah, I won't read that out, Kane Ravenlock, but you still have the coolest name. All right, so let's see what's going on. Post Uyghur Muslim organ harvesting concentration camps as a comment on any YouTube video. Wait 30 seconds, refresh YouTube auto deletes the comment. Censorship. You have to understand what's going on with YouTube right now. They obviously worried about anything controversial causing them a loss of money. In fact, our podcast has been demonetized this entire month, and my channel has had 2 demonetizations. This will probably be the 3rd one in a month. And I only put out 4 videos a month. So it's the way it goes. It's not going to stop me from speaking the truth, that's for sure. Okay. Will the social point system force people to help? You know, they did try to enact a... the Good Samaritan law in Shenzhen. I remember they tried to enforce it because the thing is there isn't a Good Samaritan law in China. There have been pretty high-profile cases, in fact, incredibly high-profile cases where people have helped people in need and been sued. And this has put off society completely. Very, very famous. You can look it up, where a guy, helped someone who'd been injured by a car, and they blamed him for running into them, and he ended up, having to pay huge amounts of compensation and all sorts of crap. There's been all sorts of things like that. It's unfortunate. Everyone's trying to get their pot of gold. When you see this wealth coming into your country, and everyone around you is just kind of making money. If you're not making money, you're going to want that money, and you'll find a way, and that's where all these scams come from. Anyway, time for a beer, Winston. I agree. I can't wait to have a beer. I have to finish this up, and I have to finish editing Monday's ADV China, which is going to be a fun one, where Sea Milk and I almost die of pollution in the north of Vietnam. So I'm just finishing that up, and then it's beers all around. Trust me on that one. Okay, let's see. What's this? It's someone's going on. This guy's tangentially related, but I was going through ADV China. Heard you call my hometown of Elon Musk a backwater city. How could you, Winston? Well, it's still awesome. Thank you, Lady ADH. David C. How would you rate your ability to speak and read Chinese? Middle school, high school level? Probably middle school. There's a funny thing with at least my level of Chinese is when I got to China, I did not want to learn Chinese. At that time, I spoke Japanese fairly well. I'm not going to say fluent because that's a lie, but well enough. That I'd been studying Japanese because I was planning to go to Japan. But life just happened to get in the way, and I went to China first, and I saw that China was the place I really wanted to go, and not Japan, which I'm very grateful that turned out that way, actually, because I feel like I had a much bigger adventure in China. So I didn't want to learn Chinese, but you have to pick up phrases, because especially when I got to China, nobody could speak English. Maybe if you lived in Shanghai or something, but especially Shenzhen, which is a migrant city, and nobody could speak English at all. So I had to learn. And I started learning bits and pieces. Eventually, I ended up studying Chinese in the Shenzhen University, which I did for a time. How's it going, Sea Milk?
Hey.
Sea Milk's coming in the room here. Come join me if you like.
Sure.
Anyway, I started studying Chinese, and I got pretty good. In fact, I got top marks in my class 3 times in a row. I'm not trying to brag or anything. It wasn't like the biggest achievement. I was just doing Rumen Ban and Chuji Ban, which is, like beginners and intermediate. But yeah, you can ask Sea Milk. I think my reading's probably a little better than yours.
Yeah.
But your spoken's way better than mine.
That's how it works.
Although I got the colloquials down.
Yeah, the idioms.
I'll give you guys a little idiom here, just for the hell of it. Lao niu chenen cao, which means the old cow eats tender grass. And this is something that you say when you see an old man with a young woman. Anyway, there's a lot of this grass stuff. Like
I love grass.
兔子不吃窝边草 means the rabbit does not eat the grass around its burrow, which means don't screw the crew, don't dip your pen in company ink, that kind of thing. I've just realized that grass is synonymous with, I guess, women or something.
Guess so.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. So yes, I would rate it okay, not fantastic. All right, let's see. How does China compare to other Asian countries you visited in these regards? It's the worst. No joke. All of the Asian countries that I've visited, I've seen people be very, very helpful to strangers on the street. Like every single one, even poorer countries than China. It's got to do with the fact that people are, like I said, finally earning money, and they're like, I've got something, and they want to hold on to it so tight, and they're worried that somebody's going to scam them, And to be honest, in the rural countryside of China, you don't actually see this behavior. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
People are so much more friendly. When we were on Conquering Northern China and stuff, again, it's kind of unfair because we're foreigners. Like, would they treat another Chinese person like that? Probably not. They'd probably still treat them with suspicion. But I find the rural people to be a lot more open-hearted and a lot more genuine than people in the city. And I suppose that's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. No need to read. Okay, well, thank you. I won't read it then. I appreciate that. What have we got here? Thank you, Lady AGH. You're awesome. How is your wife adapting to USA culture? You can check out her channel. It's called Who Knows, HUKNOWS, Who Knows. And she makes videos talking about her experiences in America, so you can go and hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Just called your wife a horse.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Are there any different factions within the CCP? Yes, they are, but that's what this whole corruption crackdown thing is all about. Kane Ravenlock, lol, Winston, I had the same plan. I will go back to Japan, had a pit stop in Hong Kong, and got stuck in China. Haha, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It is a trap. Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, Jan. Let me not... Is it Jan? No, it's Jan. Jan Chiskersky? Is it maybe Jan then? I'm sorry if I got that wrong. And there is one more that I just can't read for some reason.
Mintran.
How do you even see? Oh, some more beer money. Well, you heard that. We're going to have to go and get some beers after we've edited ADV China.
Sounds good.
I don't think people understand how much bloody work it is for what we do.
You got to understand.
You got to understand, China. No, seriously.
ADV.
Yeah, ADV. Thanks, guys. I think it would be unfair if I didn't read a comment from the normal thing. So let's see. How bad is government corruption in China from Mr. B? It's very bad. It's endemic. It's part of the way it works. Having been privy to a lot of government meetings, on many different levels, corruption is involved. Guanxi, which means connections or friendships, things like that, is an integral part of business in China. Not just business, but everyday life. So if you need to do anything in the government, like get a permit or whatever it is, you will always end up taking the government officials out for dinner where you have to buy them a lavish meal. You have to buy expensive baijiu or cognac or something to give to them. All that kind of crap. You've been there.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happens is, so that's on a very low level. And of course, the actual handing over of money or kickbacks and stuff is usually involved as well. This is something that they try to crack down on, but it always ends up creeping back in. Like they didn't allow people to accept money or gold or anything. So what happened was they would give them like a mooncake during the mooncake festival, and the tin that the mooncake was in would be made of gold. Things like that, So there's always ways around it. And I'll do one more before I'm unfortunately going to have to sign off. So let us see. Who do we have next? Why does the CCP tolerate you criticizing them on a large scale? They don't. Obviously, I'm not currently in China. I know this is a fantastic green screen. It looks like real life. Look, I'm going to go back in there.
Dude, I'm losing you.
Yeah, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go here.
Come back.
Oh, what's those weird little light things? I'm going to go all the way to this side. Maybe I'll talk to this guy. Hey, how's it going? No, seriously.
He's rude. Ignore
Yeah. Totally rude. See, they don't help anyone. They're just kidding. No, look, I am back and forth, but I can't let my movements be known because it would be stupid. I only really started to open up, honestly, and do this kind of these critical videos after I'd left China. And the reason why I started is because the nationalists attacked my wife, attacked my family in South Africa, attacked some random cousins of mine that I hadn't seen in like 20 plus years, and just started to behave in such a distasteful, underhanded manner in order to shut me up and come up with all these weird conspiracy theories about me and post all this crap and try to get my wife fired or arrested for being a spy, constantly reported me as a spy. This is when I was still just making very normal videos about everyday life in China. And when they went after my family, that was when I just decided that this is a sick society. This is a problem that needs to be talked about. Why is it that the government would condone people attacking other people's families like this? Because it is condoned, because it's never condemned. And that's what made me change my mind. It doesn't mean that I don't still see a lot of positive things when it comes to China, especially Chinese people, and especially Chinese people in Taiwan and Hong Kong and the Chinese friends that I've had my entire, childhood and everywhere else. I absolutely love Chinese culture and I love Chinese people, but this society that breeds these sick nationalists that will attack people, refuse to help their fellow man on the street, even though they claim to love China so much, I decided that I have to take a stand and talk about it. But of course, it would be foolhardy to talk about these kind of things if I was in mainland China, because as it is, I was harassed by the police almost on a weekly basis in China. So that's why currently Seamilk and myself, we're set up in LA and we're doing our stuff from here. It gives us the freedom to not only escape random incarceration and detention and being disappeared, but it also allows us to easily travel around the world to different interesting places in Asia and beyond and just kind of expand. So I think that's about it for today. Thank you very much, guys, for sitting through this one. I know it was very much, it was a downer. It wasn't like a very happy Friday thing. So I think it's time for everyone to forget their worries for at least the evening. Go grab a drink. Have a good time. And as always, you know the drill. Stay awesome. See you guys next time. Man, let's see if I cut myself